The most famous equation ever hides a secret that will challenge everything you think you know about reality. E equals mc squared. You learned it in grade school. You've seen it on merchandise. They told you it explains nuclear bombs and energy grids. That energy can be converted into mass and mass into energy. But that was just the beginning of the story. Einstein saw something far more profound in his equation, something that connects physics to the timeless wisdom traditions, something they decided was too dangerous for the public to truly understand. In 1948, Einstein appeared in a documentary about the atom. In that film, he made a statement that most scientists quietly ignore. He said mass and energy are both just different expressions of the same thing. Read that again. Different expressions of the same thing. Not two separate things that can be converted into each other. One thing, appearing in two forms, like water and ice, like a wave and a particle. One reality, wearing different masks. This changes everything. If mass and energy are the same thing, then what we call matter isn't what it seems. That solid table in front of you, the body you inhabit, the planet beneath your feet, none of it is what you think it is. Einstein called it a somewhat unfamiliar conception for the everyday mindset. That was an understatement. What he discovered dissolves the very foundation of how we understand reality. Let me explain what he really found. In September 1905, Einstein published a paper that changed physics forever. The paper asked a simple question. Does the inertia of a body depend upon its energy content? His answer was yes. And from that answer came the most famous equation ever written. But here's what they never tell you. Einstein did not write E equals mc squared in that original paper. He wrote something different. He wrote that if a body gives off energy, its mass lessens by that same amount divided by the speed of light squared. In other words, mass is energy, not converts to energy, is energy, the same substance, in a different form. Einstein later explained this more clearly. He said the laws of conservation of energy and the conservation of mass are one and the same, not similar, not related, the same law, because mass and energy are the same thing. Now let me show you why this matters. For centuries, physics operated on a basic assumption. Matter is real, solid, fundamental. Energy is something matter has or uses, but matter itself is the foundation. Einstein destroyed that assumption. If mass is energy, then what we call matter is just energy in a particular state. Condensed energy, slowed down energy, energy that appears solid. Because it vibrates at a frequency our senses interpret as physical. Think about what this means. The chair you are sitting on is not solid. It's energy, vibrating in a pattern that your nervous system interprets as solid. The air you are breathing is energy. The light entering your eyes is energy. Your eyes themselves are energy. There is nothing in the universe that is not energy. Before Einstein, we thought the universe contained two fundamentally different things, matter and energy, physical stuff and non-physical stuff. E equals mc squared erased that boundary forever. There is only one thing, one substance, one reality, appearing in different forms, at different frequencies. What we call physical is just a particular frequency of that one thing. What we call non-physical is another frequency of the same thing. This is why the equation includes the speed of light squared. Light is the boundary between what we perceive as physical and non-physical. The speed of light squared is an enormous number. It represents the massive amount of energy compressed into what appears as a small amount of matter. A single gram of matter contains the energy equivalent of 20,000 tons of TNT. That is not an exaggeration. That is physics. That small amount of what you call physical reality is hiding an ocean of energy. Every atom in your body is a compressed explosion of energy. Every cell is a power plant beyond imagination. You are not made of dead matter. You are made of unimaginably concentrated energy, pretending to be solid. This is not mysticism. This is physics. And it matches exactly what ancient spiritual traditions have said for thousands of years. The Hindu concept of illusion teaches that the physical world is an illusion, not that it doesn't exist, but that it is not what it appears to be. The solid world is a kind of dream made of something more fundamental. Einstein discovered the physics behind that teaching. The solid world is made of energy, appearing solid. It is not what it seems. Buddhist teachings say that form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. The physical and the non-physical are two faces of the same reality, not separate, not different. One thing, appearing as two. Einstein proved this with mathematics. Mass equals energy, divided by the speed of light squared. Form equals emptiness, expressed at a particular frequency. Now here is where it gets even more interesting. The Taoist philosophy speaks of the Tao as the source of all things, an undifferentiated unity that gives rise to the 10,000 things, the many arising from the one, the diversity emerging from the unified. E equals mc2 describes exactly this. One reality, energy, appearing as the 10,000 things we call matter. The Taoists intuited what Einstein proved. The universe is not made of separate things. It is one thing, appearing as many. The Kabbalistic tradition teaches that the physical world is the densest level of divine light, that God contracted his infinite light to create space for the material world. Now that what we see as solid is actually crystallized light. Einstein showed that matter is crystallized energy, and what is light but energy? The Kabbalists described the physics of creation thousands of years before physics existed as a science. The Greek philosophers debated whether the universe was made of one substance or many. Heraclitus said, "Everything is fire." Thales said, "Everything is water." They were searching for the one thing that underlies all things. Einstein found it. Everything is energy, the one substance that takes all forms, the fire that becomes water, the water that becomes earth, the earth that becomes air, all transformations of a single reality. This is not coincidence. This is recognition. The ancient teachers perceived directly what Einstein proved mathematically. They used different languages. They came from different cultures, but they saw the same truth. Einstein believed in what he called Spinoza's concept of the divine. The 17th century philosopher Baruch Spinoza taught that God and nature are the same thing. Not a personal God who creates nature from outside, but a God that is nature, an intelligent order that manifests as everything that exists. Back in 1929, a Rabbi Samuel asked Einstein if he believed in God. Einstein replied, "I believe in Spinoza's concept of the divine, who reveals himself in the lawful harmony of the world, not in a God who concerns himself with the fate and the doings of mankind. The lawful harmony of the world, E equals mc2, is part of that harmony. It shows that beneath the apparent diversity of the universe, there is unity. Mass and energy are one. The physical and the non-physical are one." Einstein spent the last 30 years of his life searching for what he called a unified field theory. He wanted to find a single equation that would show how all forces in the universe are really one force, how gravity, electromagnetism, and nuclear forces are all expressions of a single underlying reality. He never found that equation, but his search reveals what he believed. He believed the universe is fundamentally unified. That separation is appearance, that beneath the surface, everything is one. E=mc² was his first glimpse of that unity, mass and energy unified, the physical and the non-physical shown to be the same. Here is something remarkable that most people never consider. Einstein developed his theory of relativity while working as a patent clerk in Switzerland. He was not in a university. He was not surrounded by other physicists. He was alone with his thoughts, examining inventions and imagining the nature of reality. In that solitude, he performed what he called thought experiments. He imagined riding on a beam of light. He visualized what would happen if you traveled at the speed of light and looked in a mirror. He saw the universe with his mind's eye before he proved it with mathematics. This is exactly how mystics describe their discoveries, through inner vision, through direct perception of reality, beyond the senses, through a kind of seeing that transcends ordinary observation, Einstein once said. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. This is not a casual statement. It reveals how he worked. He imagined the universe into understanding. The mystics of every timeless wisdom tradition describe the same process. They quiet the mind. They look within. They perceive directly what cannot be measured with instruments. They see the unity that underlies the multiplicity. Einstein was a mystic who spoke the language of mathematics. His equations were not cold calculations. They were attempts to express what he had seen in his mind's eye. E=mc² was a vision, translated into symbols. This is why the equation feels different from other physics. It has a quality of revelation, of something profound being shown, because that is exactly what it is, a revelation from a mind that could see beyond appearances. Now, let me tell you what this means for you. If matter is energy, then your body is energy. Not a machine made of meat, a pattern of energy, temporarily organized into what you call yourself. The boundary between you and the rest of the universe is not as solid as it appears. If matter is energy, then the separation between objects is an illusion. The space between things is not empty. It is filled with the same energy. That makes up the things themselves. Everything is connected in a web of energy that only appears separated when viewed at certain frequencies. If matter is energy, then consciousness might not be produced by matter. It might be the other way around. Energy might be the expression of something even more fundamental, something that ancient traditions called spirit or mind or awareness. Einstein himself hinted at this. In his later years, he made a remarkable statement. He said he wanted to know God's thoughts. Everything else is details. Think about what he was saying. The greatest physicist of the 20th century, the man who revolutionized our understanding of space, time, and reality. He said that understanding the laws of physics was not enough. He wanted to know the mind behind the laws. This is not materialist science. This is spiritual seeking. Dressed in the language of physics, Einstein was not looking for more equations. He was looking for the source of the equations, the intelligence that designed the patterns, the mind that dreamed the universe into being. And he believed that mind was knowable, not through worship, not through faith, but through direct comprehension, through the same kind of seeing that allowed him to perceive relativity before he could prove it. God's thoughts, the underlying logic of the universe, the pattern that energy follows as it appears in different forms. Einstein believed this pattern could be known, that the human mind could touch the same intelligence that shapes reality. This is what E=mc² really points to. Not bombs and not energy grids, but the fundamental nature of existence, the revelation that what we see is not what is, that beneath the physical is something unified and mysterious. Let me give you an example that makes this concrete. Right now, you are looking at a screen. That screen appears solid. It appears to be made of matter, but if you could see at the atomic level, you would see that the screen is mostly empty space. Atoms are mostly empty. The electrons are far from the nucleus. There is more nothing than something in every physical object, and even the something is not solid. The particles that make up atoms are not little balls. They are probability waves. They exist in superposition. They are more like patterns of possibility than physical things. And beneath even that, E equals mc² tells us those particles are energy. The entire screen is energy, vibrating at frequencies that your eyes interpret as solid matter. You are not looking at matter. You are looking at energy, pretending to be matter. You are experiencing the illusion that ancient traditions described and Einstein proved mathematically. Now, extend this understanding to everything around you. The walls of your room are energy. The floor beneath you is energy. The sky above you is energy. The people in your life are energy. Your thoughts are patterns of energy. In your brain, your emotions are chemical energy flowing through your body. There is nothing that is not energy, nothing that is not vibrating, nothing that is solid in the way your senses tell you it is solid. When you shake someone's hand, you are not touching solid matter. You are experiencing electromagnetic repulsion between the energy patterns that make up your hand and their hand. Your atoms never actually touch their atoms. What you feel as touch is energy fields interacting. When you sit in a chair, you are not resting on solid matter. You are floating on electromagnetic forces. The same energy that makes up the chair is pushing against the energy that makes up you. You are suspended in a sea of interacting frequencies. This isn't just philosophy. This is physics. E equals mc² made this understanding inescapable. There is no solid matter. There is only energy appearing solid. And if everything is energy, then the boundaries we draw between things are arbitrary. Where does the air end and your lungs begin? Where does your skin end and the world begin? These boundaries are conventions, not realities. You are not separate from the universe. You are a pattern of energy within the larger pattern of energy. So that is the universe. You are a wave in the ocean, a whirlpool in the river, a flame in the fire, distinct but not separate, individual but not isolated. This is the spiritual implication of E equals mc². Not just that matter is energy, but that you are energy. And energy is continuous. And therefore, you are continuous with everything that exists. This is why they downplayed the spiritual implications and imagine, if everyone understood, that matter is an illusion, that the physical world is energy, organized by an underlying intelligence, that separation is appearance and unity is reality. The implications for society would be enormous. The implications for power structures would be destabilizing. The implications for how we treat each other and the planet would be revolutionary. So they taught us that E equals mc² is about bombs, about converting mass to energy for destruction or energy grids. They made the equation about technology instead of philosophy, about application instead of meaning. But Einstein knew the deeper truth, and in his private letters and conversations, he expressed it repeatedly. He described a cosmic religious feeling, as the strongest motivation for scientific research. Not curiosity, not ambition, a religious sense of wonder at the harmony of the universe. He said, "The universe is comprehensible, not just measurable, comprehensible, meaning. It can be understood, meaning. There is an intelligence to understand, meaning. The human mind and the cosmic mind are somehow compatible." He said, "Science without religion is lame, and religion without science is blind." Not as a diplomatic statement, as a description of reality. Science reveals the structure, religion points to the meaning. Both are necessary to understand what is. E equals mc squared is where science and religion meet. It is the mathematical proof that the physical world is not fundamental, that beneath matter is energy, and beneath energy, who knows, perhaps consciousness, perhaps intelligence, perhaps what the mystics have always called the divine. Consider what happens when you die. From a materialist perspective, you simply cease to exist. The matter that made up your body disperses. The end. But E equals mc squared suggests something different. You were never matter to begin with. You were always energy. And energy, according to the first law of thermodynamics, cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change form. If you are energy, and energy cannot be destroyed, then what exactly ends? When you die, the pattern changes. The form dissolves. But the energy that was you continues. It takes new forms. It joins other patterns. It remains part of the one reality that underlies all appearances. This is not a proof of the afterlife, but it is a question the materialist worldview cannot answer. If matter is energy, and energy is conserved, then the simple story of existence followed by non-existence becomes much more complicated. The timeless wisdom traditions all taught that something continues after death. They disagreed about what? Reincarnation, heaven, the merging with the absolute. But they agreed that the end of the body was not the end of you. E equals mc squared does not prove them right, but it raises questions that physics cannot dismiss. If you are energy, what happens to that energy when the body dissolves? Einstein himself was asked about death and the afterlife. He gave an interesting answer. He said, "The distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. In time itself, it is not what it appears to be. If time is an illusion, and then so is the sequence of birth, life, and death, everything exists in an eternal now that our limited perception breaks into a timeline dome. You are not moving from past to future. You are experiencing different aspects of an eternal reality. This is what the mystics have always said, that enlightenment is stepping outside of time, that the eternal is available in every moment, that death is a transition in appearance, not a destruction of reality. Einstein pointed toward this understanding. Without fully articulating it, his physics implied it. His philosophy embraced it. But he left it to others to draw out the full implications. Now I want you to understand something important. Many fake quotes are attributed to Einstein. You may have heard that he said, "Everything is energy. Match the frequency of the reality you want." He never said that. Those words come from a channeler named Darrell Anker, spoken 40 years after Einstein died. But what Einstein actually said is even more profound. He said, mass and energy, are different manifestations of the same thing. He said, he believes in Spinoza's concept of the divine. He said, the cosmic religious feeling is the strongest and noblest motive for scientific research. The real Einstein is more interesting, say, than the fake quotes, because the real Einstein discovered something that bridges physics and mysticism. And he knew it. And he spent his life trying to go deeper, if you understand. What E equals mc squared really means you see the universe differently. You see that solidity is appearance, that separation is illusion, that beneath the surface everything is connected in ways our ordinary perception cannot detect. This is not belief. This is physics, the most tested and verified physics in history. And it points to a reality far stranger and more unified than our everyday experience suggests. Einstein showed us the door. He wrote the equation that proves matter is not what it seems. He believed in an intelligent universe that operates according to beautiful laws. The question is whether you will walk through that door, whether you will look at the world and see not solid objects, but energy patterns, not separate things, but one unified reality, expressing itself in infinite forms. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The coffee cup on your desk becomes a temporary concentration of cosmic energy. The tree outside your window becomes a standing wave of life force, drawing energy from the sun. Your own hands become miraculous instruments of condensed starlight. This is not metaphor. This is physics applied to experience. E equals mc squared, transformed into lived understanding. Einstein walked through that door. He saw the universe as unified energy, manifesting in endless forms, and that vision, that burning insight, drove him to seek an even deeper understanding, to find that one equation, the one to rule them all. That would explain it, everything. He didn't find that equation exactly, but perhaps he stumbled upon something even more profound. He found a way of seeing, a revolutionary lens that bridges science and spirituality, a perspective that honors both the measurable and the meaningful, a wisdom that uses mathematics to point toward mystery. That is what mc2 really means. That is Einstein's spiritual secret, the insight they never taught you in grade school. If this changes how you see reality, you're not alone. You're part of a growing movement, a global awakening of people who recognize that science and spirituality ultimately point to the same truth, that the timeless wisdom traditions were not primitive superstition, that the purely materialist worldview is, at best, incomplete. When you support this channel through super thanks, you're supporting the exploration of these very connections, the revelations that bridge ancient wisdom and modern science, the truth that institutional boundaries have historically kept artificially separated. This isn't about blind belief, it's about understanding, and understanding, truly understanding, changes everything. You've just learned what mc2 really means, not the textbook definition, the watered-down version, but the version Einstein himself intuitively believed, the version that connects the hard science of physics to the deepest, most fundamental questions about the very nature of existence. Mass is energy, matter is an illusion, a fleeting appearance. The universe is unified, and you are an inextricable part of that unity. So, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue seeing the world as solid and separate, or will you begin perceiving the shimmering energy beneath the surface, the hidden connections that link absolutely everything, the one reality appearing as a multitude? Einstein pointed the way. The equation is your map, and the journey itself is now yours to take, sir. Comment below. Tell me, did this change how you see reality? Tell me, have you always sensed that matter wasn't quite what it appeared to be? Tell me, did Einstein finally confirm what you already knew deep in your bones? Because the people watching this video right now are not average viewers. They are seekers. They sense that official, mainstream explanations are somehow leaving something crucial out. They can feel the unity vibrating beneath the apparent separation. You are not alone in that feeling. And now, you have the physics to back it up. mc2, the equation that proves the mystics were right all along.